much over the next 5 days. I can't possibly explain it all by myself, so I've had to enlist some help. I've got two England internationals with me, Jordan Nelly and Ben Meekham are here with me. Jordan, let's start with you. Are you excited for this today?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Day one of the Euros, it's always a little, Euros seems like a bit of a festival, like a sort of a celebration of the sport really. So it's just great seeing so many teams come together and hopefully play some really good touch over the 5 days.
Now Ben, of course you both know what it's like to play in one of these events. In fact, you're both European champions yourself. How are the players feeling this morning, do you think?
Anxious, nervous, but excited more than anything. Like, they just want to get out there, want to get that nervous energy out and just start running around and start doing everything they've done in training really.
Now 5 days solid action, isn't it? Of course on Saturday we are going to find out who our champions are going to be. Now let's touch a little bit on the first game, shall we? Of course Belgium against Germany. Jordan, what do you think? Who's going to win this one?
Well, I think they were quite close together in 2018, 8th and 9th. We both played them in that tournament, and they're just fast teams. They like to run you. So with them being so close together in the last tournament, obviously things have changed over the squads over the last 4 years. So it'll be interesting to see if any of the core group will have stayed the same for the last tournament. I'm sure they'll be the odd, 3 or 4 experienced players in both camps, but it'll be interesting to see if there's any new players that can either bump them up the ladder or start this fixture really strongly.
Now Ben, let me ask you a question, because it's the Men's Open to get going. It's not just the Men's Open we've got playing this week. Tell us what other teams have we got playing here?
Well, we've got Mixed Open, Women's Open, and then we've got age categories. So you've got men's 30s, men's 35s, 40s, all the way up to over 50s, and then you've got women's 30s, 35s. So there's a big array of teams from Opens to Masters, and it's a great setup. We're seeing people, I know families that are playing from Opens to seniors, so that's a great little setup here.
It's a real festival, isn't it? Now Jordan, for those who are tuning in to watch the Touch Championships for the very first time, just tell us a little bit about the rules. How does it work?
So like we were talking about before, it's quite similar to league in that you get 6 touches, similar to those 6 tackles in league. Obviously the pitch is a little bit shorter. It's any contact, so obviously just touches, you've got to get the ball down straight away. They dummy half, so the person picking up straight away, they can't score, they can't get touched. The defence have got to retreat 7 metres, and it's 40-minute games. You're looking for speed. That's what the game's USP is speed.
There's only 5-minute halves, isn't there, as well? So there's not much rest, but 6 places.
Fast, and obviously, like we were speaking about before, it's 5 days, so that's another unique setup for the sport, in that things start changing after 3-4 days. When you're waking up in the morning, you're a little bit tired, you're a little bit sore. That's when the fitter players, the players who have done this before, that's when they will start stepping up to the mark and making a real impact.
Now, of course, you both have been here before, you've done it before. Ben, let's talk to you a little bit about the preparation that goes into playing a tournament like this. England, of course, they've won the Men's Open the last 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
What sort of training goes into it? How intense is it?
Well, the 6 weeks leading up to the tournament is so intense, because obviously, as Jordan said, it's 5 days, so you've got to have the fitness to last 5 days, but then you've got to have the speed and the agility to last in one game. So you've got to do an array of strength and conditioning, anaerobic, aerobic conditioning. You've got to cover all bases to try and ensure that you're as good as you are on day 5 as you were on day 1.
Now when it comes to fitness, obviously it's a fast game, it's very much like rugby league, as we said, not as physical, shall we say, but then is that what the training is involved in? Is it purely a fitness based thing? I mean, you guys are pretty big, so I feel pretty small over here.
You know what, it's weird that you say that, because like Meeks was saying, he trains like a madman, but like you do have to do a lot of running, and it's about finding a bit of a balance between running, agility, being able to be like a lot of mobility training, but you do need to do a lot of strength training just to be able to prepare your body. And even though it is touch, and like I said, it's not as physical as league, but there is quite a bit of contact.
It's the 5 days, on day 5 you've got to be able to do as good as you are on day 1, and that's where the strength and conditioning comes into it.
And the way Meeks makes touches, you do need to do deadlift to some degree just to be able to rock him off. So.
There is a bit of contact contact out there, and hopefully you'll see a bit of contact, especially in the men's open grade.
Now, we must say, when it comes to the touches, and I believe I'm right in saying this during my research, you can touch your hair, that's okay. Is that right?
Not yours, Jordan. He's going very quickly. But no, you can touch any part of the body.
Touch my hair.
You can touch any part of the body. So if someone's wearing a hat and you touch a hat, that is a touch. And it's a very honest game, because obviously Jordan can't feel if I touch his shirt, but if I call a touch, you've got to take that honesty and trust that they felt that touch.
So the referee's role is critical then, isn't it? Really?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Good stuff. Now, look, I want to get your predictions. Let's start with the men's open. Of course, as we said, England, I've spoken to a few people. I think they might be favourites, but you guys know better than me. Do you think they can get the job done this week?
So we talked about this last night. They're still favourites to me. They're still the team to beat. I think Ireland are the notable team that will improve dramatically. We played them in 2018, and that was one of my favourite games from that tournament. And it wasn't a close game at the time. We played them last year in Manchester, and we had 2 really good games against them. They just run you so hard. They're so fit. They're so physical.
They just keep going.
They don't stop. Wales were runners up last time, and again they'll be up there. And the Scotland boys will improve as well.
Scotland, of course, former winners as well, so they know how to get the job done. They're a threat.
They'll have a lot of the mixed open boys. I think they've moved over to the men's open category, so they'll be a little bit of a different team from 2018. I think they're going to be a top 4. If I was going to put an order down, I think England Ireland will be the final, and I think that'll be a great game. I think the game to look out for, especially the round robin game, is England Ireland men's open.
Well, we'll certainly keep an eye on that. Ben, let me ask you, who could cause an upset in the men's open category?
In the men's open, I think Ireland genuinely, if anyone's going to compete with England, it will be Ireland. I think Scotland might just be a year behind the 8 ball, but I think Ireland I've got a really good coach. He's come over from Australia and is coaching this week. He'll have a great game plan. So yeah, I think Ireland could be the upset of the whole tournament. Really, if they win, then that is the biggest upset.
Even though we're saying they are second favourites, I think it'd still be an upset if they did, and that's no slight to them. I think, especially the people who've been playing for the past few years, they entered the team in the men's open's NTS this year, the club tournament, so they entered as Old Wesley. They did have a few extra players, but yeah, the players we know will play this week, they'll be on there. They'll be dying to be England. Yeah.
They will. They've certainly got a target on their back, haven't they? Now we'll touch on the women's open section very shortly. Before we do, though, it's just started. How lucky are we to be on this balcony? It's just started to chuck it down.
Raining if we're in Nottingham.
Will that change anything, or is it just get on with it? Because obviously the pitch is going to be a bit more greasy now, isn't it?
Well, the game's built in 2 areas really. You either got the long ball game, or you've got your diving around the 7 metres. And with this rain, throwing a long ball in the rain is a lot harder. So diving at the line, you can go from a metre or 2 further out, and with this grass being a bit more wet now and a bit more slippy, you can probably get a good side and dive in and to score that way. So the game might condense a bit with the rain being what it is, but as soon as it starts to dry up, then the game will start to expand.
Fantastic. Now let's just touch on the women's open before we get this game underway. We're about just under 10 minutes away from the first game getting underway. England favourites again, or what would you say, Jordan?
I'd say so. I think England will be the favourites again. Wales are always up there as well. I think again Ireland will be a team that will improve. I think they'll take a lot of strides playing in the club tournaments this year in the NTS. I don't think they'll be where their men's team is, but I think England, Wales, Scotland are always there or thereabouts as well. I think your favourites are still probably England. There's a lot of debutants in across all the mixed open categories for England, and there will be in other teams, but I think the women's especially are having quite a few debuts to hand out, so it'll be interesting to see how those younger players handle the 5 days, the step up in occasion. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
A few nerves out there, Ben, do you think?
Oh, absolutely, especially for the debutants. It's your first time playing for your country, and that's always a massive thing. you know, and they're going to be very nervous. But as soon as you get that first touch of the ball, first run on the field, it kind of goes away, and you should be into your stride and what you've been training for.
Right, we are 7 minutes away from the first game getting underway. We're going to head over to a commentator shortly, but before we do that, what I want from you guys right now, first of all, I want a lesson in the gym, but second of all, what I'd like to know is, people watching this, what I really want to find out from you is 3 reasons, 3 words as to why people should tune in and get involved with the Touch Championships.
The first on that.
We'll go one each. I'm going to go speed to start with.
Just about to say speed.
Well, no, I'm taking it.
Speed. Fun will be the next one. Fun will be the next one.
I figured you were going to say that.
Some amazing tries, some touchdowns, should I say?
Yes, touchdowns. It was going to be 3 each, but okay, no, we can
carry on. We can carry on.
We'll do 3 together.
Five.
Mixing the Mellings for 3 words.
Good. What's your next one then, Jordan? You got another one?
Fitness will be one for me.
Definitely, yeah.
And for me, I'll keep looking at the scores. Look at the long balls. Honestly, some of the long balls you'll see this week will never be seen in rugby union. So yeah, watch out for that.
Bit of a dig at rugby union.
Well, a little bit. Maybe not even rugby league.
I'm in support of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, if you are into rugby league and are watching this, do stay tuned, because you're going to really enjoy it. Look, guys, Jordan, you better get over, because you're actually, I think you're doing commentary, aren't you, for this game?
I think, unless I'm being filled in for, but yeah.
Oh, are you? Oh, so you're going to be okay. Ben, looking forward to this.
Yeah,
you ready for this? Jordan, you're ready for this?
It's
going to be a good week.
It's going to be an absolute cracker. First game about to get underway in the Men's Open. It's Belgium taking on Germany. So I'm going to hand over to your commentator, Jono, who's going to take you through the action. Enjoy it. It's going to be an absolute cracker.
Good morning and welcome to Highfields at the University of Nottingham. It's been a long time, 4 years since we were last here for European Championships, and we're just moments away from the start of the 2022 competition. And we're starting off with Belgium against Germany, a game that took place in 2018. These two teams, Germany winning 7-6 in the groups, and overall Belgium finished 8th and Germany 9th in the 2018 competition. So this should be a close game between two very well matched teams. I'm delighted to say, joining me on commentary for this first game is Jordan Melling from the Wigan Warriors, England international at mixed and men's. Good morning, Jordan.
Morning, John. Are you alright?
I'm very well, thank you. It's great to be back, isn't it?
Yeah, really good. Fields look amazing. Bit of a bit of a festival atmosphere as you're coming in. Yeah, I think you can see a bit of nervous energy in both teams at the minute. Yeah. Forgetting that they've got 5 days of touch to go, but that's normal. Yeah, it's just great to be back. Great to be back at a big international event.
Well, Belgium against Germany. We was talking before you went on there with Ian earlier, and we were saying neither of us are really too familiar with these teams, but like I say, it was a very close fought contest in the 2018 competition. Belgium finishing 8th, Germany 9th, so that should lead to a close game today. Yeah,
like we were saying, I think obviously it's 2018, it's 4 years ago. I think, as with touch and with most sports, a nucleus of the players will remain in both teams. Probably say 3, 4, 5 players will carry over from that 2018 tournament, but you're likely to get some new players in both teams. So it'll be interesting to see what those players offer both sides. Whether it'll jump them up the table or it'll go the other way for them. It'll be interesting to see. But no, like you said, 8th and 9th last time. Teams like Belgium, Germany, Italy, they play a lot of off-the-cuff touch. They like to run. So I think we'll see some interesting a bit of interesting style of play, style of attack. And hopefully that'll lead to some really good touch to watch.
Okay. Well, we'll take a look at the two teams who are taking part this morning. Here is the Belgian team. And they have Bram Prost, Maranjam, Nicolas de Klerk, Loic Bowden, Jasper Calabots, Theo Aguilera, Ernest Fallon, Corentin Bondon, Quentin Langlois, Alex Houllier, Wout Duman, Omar Perez, Mikhail Gutmacher and Francois Morin, and that it makes up the Belgian lineup this morning. Germany with a deeper squad, a couple of extra players. They have Lorenz Frick, Mike Moller, Matthew Deng, Mark Davidson, Georg Schlossmacher, Henrik Jader, Lucas Makavicius, Christopher Topu, Anthony Pangnongavong, Corbinian Pfeiffer, Aurelien Galmisch, Alan Stocken, Florin Titu, Tumelo Payne, Paul Robin and David Crombie makes up the German squad. So Germany with a couple of extra players, do you think that will make a difference? Probably not in this first match, but certainly as the tournament goes on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this game will be, I think both teams will be, you could play with 6 players in this game and you'd be alright for a bit. You're running on a bit of adrenaline, a bit of emotion. But like you said, you know, day 3, day 4, day 5, that's when those extra couple of players will be crucial for Germany. And that could be tough for Belgium. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I think I do recognise a couple of players on for Germany at the minute. We played in the Paris tournament in May, and a couple of the guys were playing for Berlin at the time. Really good on line attack. So yeah, that'll be one to look out for when Germany hopefully get down to the 7 in a couple of touches off this tap off.
So there goes the hooter, and it's Germany with the tap off. So they start. They are in the black with red trim. Belgium in the red shirts. Germany playing from right to left in this first half, and they've started well, driving to the 7 metre. Now the opportunity as he slid through.
It's a good drive, it's a good touch. So Germany is running 2 quickies back to back. Just kind of feeling Belgium out. I think they obviously were used to 20-minute club games, but there's a little bit more time to feel your opponents out. I think this is 5th touch, so 2 pole look to get around the outside. They'll just look for that last touch cut play, and that's good defence from Belgium. They remained calm there. They kept a good line. Good start. Good, a simple start from both teams.
Yeah, nerves will probably come to play, as we saw there with a little handling error. They got away with it though.
I think like we were saying before, the weather obviously playing a part. Belgium could have easily lost possession. At least 2 of those roll balls there. Bit of transition up the box.
They've done well actually, and they're going to go get the score.
Wow.
A great start for Belgium. Michael Gutmacher goes over, and from their very first attack, a deep attack as well.
Yeah, it was a little bit of transition from the box, and they just kind of drove the way up on the same link and wing all the way up the field, and it came off of them really well. But I think, like we were saying, a couple of handling errors early on there. I think Belgium will be feeling pretty lucky to, 1, have got away with that, and then 2, obviously get the score.
Thanks, Germany, you have driven quite deep from the tap off. They're at the 7 metre. Is this the opportunity for them to get straight back on level terms? It's good defence again by Belgium.
Yeah,
we've seen that in 2 drives. Very good defence.
Germany are just looking to run those quickies, running those two-man plays.
Are they through now?
They defended it well again.
Yeah,
so
touch coming in.
So I mean, not too expansive from Germany early on. Maybe they are taking the weather into a bit of account and just running those 2-man quickie plays early on. And again, that's a loose roll ball. They really are getting away with this.
That was a risky pass. Yeah. that could have gone all sorts of wrong for Belgium, but they've got away with it.
Look at they've left him on his half.
Yeah, not the best of changes in the sub box.
It's looking a little bit scrappy here from Belgium. The 5th touch, they're way in their own half. And that's great defence from Germany. That's what you want to see. You know, a turnover on halfway. Pretty much a tap off now from Germany.
So,
That's.
Oh, and they've turned it back over, so a fresh set of 6 for Belgium from the halfway.
Germany will feel hard done to there. I think the consistency with that decision is something they'll be frustrated with to begin with. But Belgium have got another opportunity here.
Yeah, they're just patient build-up at the minute. Germany defending quite high. They've done well. This is Belgium again just being penned back a little by the German defence. They've gained some yards now as they reach the 7 metre, but that's a good pass and a good take. Oh, and another switch pass.
Oh.
Is it enough? No. It was almost as if they got into position and then they didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I think you'll probably find that with a few of the teams a little bit further down the ladder. They'll have 1 or 2 strike players that will come on and kind of run their attack for them. And obviously Belgium, either lack of communication or just lack of preparation going into that line attack. But Germany look a little bit flustered here. They've obviously had those two shots from the Belgian line, and I think that was a no touch, and he's got it.
Of course, we've got plenty of time in these games, 20 minutes each way, so
that's the thing. Yeah,
I think a bit longer than what we've been used to if you've been watching the England touch streams with the mixed open, where the 10-minute halves, these obviously 20-minute halves at international level.
Yeah.
So a lot of these players, stamina being the key really.
Stamina, and patience. I think Germany will roll back into their line attack stuff now, and they're still on that quickie play, and I think they should be in there.
And did he get it down? It's a consultation.
I think he's given ball to ground there. That looked like he hit the line. But I think that's a play that they've run 3 times now and they've had no success with it. So whether they do stay patient with it, they've obviously seen something. And on that last play, that the Belgian defence was struggling to defend that in a way that you would want to. They struggled to recover and eventually did.
This is a really good drive by the Belgians, but the pass just didn't have enough strength on it.
Good support from the Belgian teams on this side.
Jesper Kovacs, there he is, the Belgian captain. He was chatting with him last night at the captain's dinner, and he was very pleased that there was going to be featured on the stream first thing. And he says they were delighted that their families and friends back home can watch them.
Yeah, they've started really strongly here, really strongly. You know, we're at 5 minutes into this game, and both teams have sort of had a few shots on the opposition line. I think Germany looked the more settled on line attack. They look a little bit more prepared. Obviously Belgium score off their transition, just caught Germany napping really.
Belgium.
So they look to break into a short here. So what Belgium ran there was a 32 short play. The reason it probably didn't work as well as it could have is the fact that the Belgian player went down on the Germany link. So they were just able to retreat into that corner, but they'll run it on the opposite side. They've got it on the middle this time, and they did create a little bit of space there, just weren't able to exploit it.
Well, Belgium there again now, is he in? Corentin Bondon diving in now.
Recovered quite well there. I think that was a touch. Probably dove a little bit too high. Just couldn't get that ball into one hand, and could be due to the conditions.
Of course, that quite heavy shower as you was setting up the day earlier could have produced some good sliding conditions.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think Belgium are looking for that. Germany definitely are. And that'll be zero touch.
And he'll try and gain as many yards as he can.
Yeah, so I was saying before that Germany probably look a little bit more prepared, composed on their line attack. Belgium ran into some really nice little plays there, some quite simple 32 shorts and some nice little quickies. Germany have got around the side. I think he's got into touch.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, the touchline ref has called that Germany went into touch on that sideline.
Yep, and it was
It was a nice little play as well. You know, they just caught that Belgian winger just off, and I think he's just gone out about there.
Aurelien Galmich just putting his feet into touch. Such a shame, because it was a really good break as well. Some great speed that the Germans used there.
Yeah, that was a shame for Belgium, because they were driving hard, they defended well, and I think that was a good example of when you are driving well, is just dialing it back a little bit to 80% and making sure the ball's down, prioritising that over speed and yards. So Germany get another shot here, and they'll go straight back into those quickie plays.
Two mids working well together.
Oh, they got the space as well. That was the first time that they really looked like scoring off that quickie play. And it's a tough one. We're coming up to a quarter of the way through the game now, and I think if I'm Germany, you might be looking to change up your line attack plays. Just give himself up there.
Yeah, it was Tumlopine there. They've used him a lot, Germany. He's been driving things for Germany through the middle, and just couldn't quite handle it. It was a great opportunity for them.
I know, it was a shame. But yeah, they're looking at a little bit more dangerous now. So
coming towards a 7 metre now. Belgium defence still handing firm.
Lost that again.
It's just
that'll be a tough one to take, because I imagine they're running those quickie plays because it is a little bit greasy, it's a little bit damp. So that's big. Yeah. So to lose possession there is a tough one.
Yeah, that gives Germany a great opportunity now.
Broke into a different play, short in. So it's the first time. The first time they haven't run that quickie play. So it's a 30s short. All we're looking for is Germany middle down on the Belgian middle. So middle on middle, runs that short line, and they've just got that overlap on the short side. It's a well-designed play. It's a nice play. It's a sort of a staple for most teams. You'll see that run throughout the day and throughout the tournament. Both teams have been running that already. I think Germany will be happy to just get on the board, and they can kick on a little bit now.
Belgium looking for the wing again with the long pass, and again he doesn't quite come off. And Germany will have the tails up after that try, and like you say, they do look that little bit better prepared. They do seem to be handling it that little bit better.
The transition just seems to be a little bit more structured. They'll break into their fifth touch play. They've only got 5 players on here. Germany are a man down.
Yes,
but they've still created a little bit of an overlap. Oh, great feet!
I think he was just touched as he went over. So unlucky.
Great feet.
Mark Davidson.
I'll tell you what, that's lovely. Comes off his left foot, skips back inside. I think there was maybe an option to tip back into Tumlopine. So comes off his left. Maybe if he tipped in there, they would have got the overlap on the other side. But I'll tell you what, that's beautiful.
Ran Prost just getting the touch in there, just extending the arms. But
I'll be looking to go back to Davidson if the opportunity comes up again.
And it's another error.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
Ball is going to be greasy though. We've had very, very little rain. Quite a heavy shower before we start. That water's going to be lying on the surface.
Yeah, I think there's obviously a lot of nervous energy as well. I think your first game, you want to play everything at speed, and you want to do everything you've been training for, preparing for. So Germany will come to that fifth touch option. They'll run that quickie play. Wingers open. I think that's back to 1. It is. Belgium will be gutted with that.
Just diving in there, gets a fresh set of 6 for Germany. Very, very deep in the Belgian half. This is a great opportunity for the Germans to take the lead. I think the touch came through as he burst through there.
I think he's caught him on the way through. Germany going back to the 2-man stuff. Maybe we'll see something a little bit different now. We're going into the back end of the set of 6. Now they're sticking with the quickies.
Space on the wing, no, just couldn't quite get the pass off. It is indeed.
Sideline ref didn't catch it. On-field ref sees the link coming in for the ball. So Germany will start the set again. Quickies again.
Or is he through? No, I think the touch came in.
Belgium defending this really well.
Bondon just getting the touch in.
With line defence, I mean, there's obviously a lot of structure and a lot of framework and things that you want to stick to, but attitude is massive, and Belgium are displaying that big time. 32 long, they'll look to get on the outside of their opposing player.
And there it goes. There's space over on this left-hand side. Rakovacic doesn't use it. And still, Germany have the ball on the 7 metre. It's going to come to the right-hand side now.
I'll tell you what, this the Belgian crowd's really getting into him here. It's really good.
Yeah, some of the other Belgian teams are on the bleachers right in front of us, supporting their team. And they're making quite a bit of noise as well.
That's great yards. Really good, really good. And they'll get into the Germany half for their 5th touch. It's probably not where they want to be, and they have lost it.
And again,
that's a shame.
I think just as he was putting it down, it hit his shin and
shot
off.
I think it's just that the error rate is quite high in this game, and I think it could remain quite low scoring. I think it'll be the team that makes less errors and again, there's another one there.
He knows it as well. Mike Morrow just putting his
gave himself up.
I think he definitely thought he'd turn the ball over there. It's not been given, and Germany still have possession. They're at the 7 metre now.
Chuko looking to get on his outside player.
Quick switch.
Not sure if Belgium are onside there, and the referee's got it. So again, Germany, fresh set of 6. They've been really happy to just stay 2-man quickie plays. Maybe we'll see something a little bit different. It doesn't look like it, and they will stick with it with Tupou. Wingers free.
Wingers free. Did he get it?
Oh, that's such a shame. Acrobatic dive from Davidson, but just ball to ground.
Ball to ground, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even a forward pass, so the score would have counted, and that's a shame. But it's good to see that they're looking to get to those edges now. You'd like to think that you can sort of see where the space is coming from. It's short. The short side defence for the Belgium is on Belgium is that's where Germany should be looking to exploit.
Germany in the past couple of drives seem to be using their wing play just a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, I mean the score was off on the link, and that was the short side off their 32 short. And again, just errors. I think the team that looks after the ball here are going to go into half-time in a really good position, and neither team seems to want to do it.
3.5 minutes away from half-time. Still all square, 1 apiece, but it's Germany who are finishing the half the stronger. And they're using that wing again, and this time it does work.
That's nice, really good.
Mark Davidson gets the ball down, but it was a great pass from the middle.
One of the standout players for me so far. Really good finish, that proper wingers finish. So they've run a bad or a 33 count as he steps inside, gets outside that middle. Well executed pass, well executed finish.
And it was Aurelien Galmiche with the pass. It was great vision as well to look left and see how much space that Davidson had there on the left hand side.
No, there's a really good finish that, and I think like we said before, it's sort of an extension of what they've been running already. They're basically just looking to keep everything quite condensed and safe on their line attack, and the few times that they've actually used their outside players, it's paid dividends for them.
And they're on the attack again.
So again, I think they'll just be happy to stay in those 2-man plays, and it's the same play that they scored off before. Good feet. Ooh.
I think he lost the ball before he put it down, or did he? No. I just saw them congratulating each other. I thought, oh, has that one been given?
I thought it was a really good step back, and I thought he got that down, but no, Belgium did well to recover.
So Belgium starting very deep as they head towards the halfway line. It's a good drive so far.
So I think Belgium are staying on here. They'll look to just transition up the field with the players that they've got on. That's always a tough one when you get caught on fifth touch. Got to run off a static play here, and good defence from Germany.
It's probably the deepest that Belgium have got it in a while, though, and they'll be happy that they've at least got Germany to the 7 metre. They have to start very, very deep in their own half.
It is, but it wasn't transitioning to the box. It was the same players who have stayed on, and obviously you feel fine doing that on day one, game one, but they might come back to
day 5.
But you can't do it all the time. It's 40 minutes. You can obviously do it every so often.
Handling error by Germany has given Belgium another opportunity. They're at the 7 metre. We're in the final minute of the half now, and this is a good opportunity for Belgium to try and get back on level terms.
Belgium look dangerous there. They've got 2 of their younger players on at the minute, Bondon and I think it's the 2 brothers, the Bondon brothers, and they're happy to run those 2-man plays. They've both got good feet, and they can't. Short side. That's such a shame, such a shame. But yeah, when those 2 are on, they look pretty threatening, and they're forced an error here. So hopefully they'll get one play out of this if they can speed up a little
10 seconds.
bit. Hopefully somebody's telling them from the box.
There it is. And there's a touch. So that will be half time. The final play, or is it?
Thought the hooter had gone. I think he's given the
penalty.
So the hips weren't square from the Belgian player. I think that was touch pass, so we'll get another play. This could go on.
Oh, it's back to Belgium. Comes back in, I think
forward pass, so we've got another play. This could go on forever.
If you're wondering what's happening, it's because penalties keep getting called. The referee won't blow the half-time whistle, even though the hooter is gone, and I think it will be blown now as the touch is made. So a very interesting half, and it was Belgium who certainly started the stronger, but Germany very much came back into it and were the stronger team
I think,
towards the end.
Like we said, Germany probably look a tiny bit more composed on the Belgium line. Belgium a little bit frantic when it comes to line attack, but like we were saying, when the 2 brothers come on, they look settled in what they're doing. If they can just take a step on from what they're actually running, like we said, when they picked up short side, that option is on all day. So if they can go back to that, I think that's something that they can exploit. Once Germany started running shorts, like we see on the screen now, they go back to that short side. The space is open there, and I think if they go back to that, they're going to have a lot of success.
That was Makavicius with the first German try, and then they took the lead with.
I think if I'm Germany, I'm looking to go back to Davidson a little bit. I think he looks threatening on the wing, and he's developing a good little combination with his middles here. That's where that space is coming from. Such a shame that wasn't. He couldn't take that in.
I think this was the second German try that saw them take the lead, and it was just a great pass out to the wing, and Davidson.
Similar to their first score, the only difference is that the ball player actually went down on his opposite middle and stepped infield, so you can either call that a 33 counties or a bad, and he's basically just looking to exploit a shut-in defence or quite a tight defence, and they've done that really well. I think if I'm Germany, I'm one of the German coaches, they'll be looking to exploit that a little bit more.
Well, it is half time, 5-minute half times here. at the European Championships before we start the second half. You see Belgium in quite a tight huddle there in front of us, as we're 2 minutes away from the start of the second half. There seems to be a great deal of coaching going on in that huddle, and they're going to take some pleasure from the way that they finished that half. They had 2 really good drives. They came quite close to scoring, so they've got every reason to go into the second half with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, they started well, they finished well. I think the main thing that they'll be talking about is errors, and I think that'll go for both teams. Probably Belgium a tiny bit more. They're just not controlling the ball as well as you'd hope. So yeah, if they can look after the ball a little bit more, and again, once the Bondon brothers are on, if they can look to just exploit that short side a little bit more. To be fair, on the German side, I think they'll be saying a similar sort of thing. That's where they got their scores. That's where they got their success from. But for both teams, it's errors. Error rate was way too high for both teams.
Do you think that the weather would have played a big part in that? Yeah. As you said, it was a heavy shower, as I keep referring to beforehand. So, yeah, that would have led to a slippy ball, probably a slippy top surface as well.
Yeah. I think it's 2 things. It's a little bit of nerves, a little bit of nervous energy. I think day one, I think that would have contributed, even if it was quite a dry day. But obviously the shower just before that would have definitely been a factor.
Well, it's Belgium who have the tap off here for the second half, so the opportunity for them to have a good drive towards the German line. There's the hooter, so the 20-minute clock will start now. 2-1 Germany lead as we start the second half. It is a good drive from Belgium.
Calling no touch there, but they've got away with it.
Goes back to the 7 metre.
Quickly play from Belgium. The pick up short side and they've gone through.
He's down. Now, did he handle?
Ball to ground.
Yeah.
Oh, what a shame.
Yes, he didn't quite handle that.
It was nice play. It was similar to what we were asking from Belgium in the first half. So they've run that quickie play and they've sort of taken a step on from it now, which are progressing the play on. And they've gone to the short side. They've got through, and hopefully they'll go back to that, because there was quite a bit of success that they got from that.
Omar Perez just couldn't quite gather the ball in as he went down.
No, what a shame. It was a really nice play.
It's Germany with a good transition, but they're on final touch now. That was a good switch pass, but the touch from Belgium's point of view was made just in time.
So hopefully Belgium with a little bit of transition here, they can maybe get a little strike play on 5th. And it's a good start. So 3rd, and they're already in Germany's half. Nice play. And he's gone straight through.
He needs someone there. Has he got it down?
Great touch, great defence. And that's 5th.
Proust and Kolevaerts. It was Kolevaerts who got it down, but the touch was made just in time. But again, it's 2 impressive plays from Belgium so far in this second half.
Yeah. No, that was a good start, really good transition. Germany didn't really press them too much, especially when Belgium were coming out of their half. And if that's something that they're going to continue with, it could really open the game up here.
It's Germany driven to the 10 metre. Final touch though.
Static play on 5th.
He's done well, but that is the 6th touch.
Yeah, that was a shame. I think Germany had driven well and they just kind of lost their way a little bit on 4th and 5th.
Belgium who make a few changes, fresh legs on as they come over halfway. More changes being made,
Just
but
got to go forward there. So they'll look for that strike play. And it's 4, so they've still got one in the bag. You'd like to see a scoop here. Ah, that's a shame.
Final touch, so there is space on the wing if they use it, and they have done, but just can't
It's a tough one.
gather
That,
it in. Good marker.
Well, on that transition there, you want to be getting it down on 5th touch for a scoop play. They just it didn't really get anything set up.
Bit of a breeze starting to come across the ground now. It's certainly got a lot brighter, and the forecast is for sunshine as the day goes on, so that will dry the pitch out.
Yeah, I think it'll be nice to have that shower actually. You know, like you said, you get that little bit of grease underfoot. It's good defence. 6, half
Crombie going through, but just losing possession to Belgium for the 6th touch. So Belgium start again, but again very deep.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of a theme for them. And the thing that they're probably doing a little bit better this half is just looking after the ball a bit more. Germany pressing way better, and they're going to have to strike from their own half here, Belgium.
Villiers gets it down.
They've lost the count.
Yeah, but that is 6 touches, and Germany start again from just beyond
It's happened a couple of times that now for Belgium. They're losing the count a little bit. I don't know whether it's because they are getting stuck in their own half a little bit too long, and they're losing 4th and 5th, but they'll look to improve on that. 32 short from the Germans.
Got still wide for Germany. There's space there now.
Good dive.
Frick dives through.
Yeah.
And he has got it.
Score.
And a 2-point advantage now for Germany. That will be huge for them with 15 minutes to go.
So it's a little bit of off the cuff stuff really. They've run that 32 short. They've managed to create a bit of space there with that right foot step, and they've just been able to exploit it really well. It's a great dive, really good dive. Gets nice and low.
Matthew Deng getting it to Lorenz Frick, who dived through, avoiding the touch.
It's like we were saying before, that's what the weather can do. You know, that little bit of a shower in the morning, it can just help you nudge a little bit long in that nice low dive.
Belgium have done well though. They're at the 7 metre, so they've taken full advantage of being at halfway for the tap off. But they are on final touch now, but there's space over on the wing. Did he get through? No.
Good D, really good. Germany look a little bit more composed now. 3-1 up. I think if they can get one more, they can probably pull away a little bit.
Saying it was a very, very close game in 2018, and it's been a pretty close game here as well.
Yeah. I think. Obviously, it being the first game, day one, that will have contributed a little bit to it. I think a little bit cagey. Obviously, the weather playing a bit of a part, but I think Germany have just dropped their error count a little bit this half, and obviously just been able to convert 2 more times.
Yeah, it's been noticeable there have been far less handling errors in the second half than there was in the first, but I suppose that is a virtue of the pitch drying out a bit dry conditions.
Nice feet. Gets through, he's looking for his brother. He's got it.
Oh, now was he down?
Nah,
no, ball to ground.
It's given back to one anyway, I think. Good defence from the Germans, good recovery.
It was really good play as well.
Great scoop through.
Getting free. Again, a couple of times we've seen this for both teams now, where not just quite being able to gather it in and get the ball down.
You just want to be able to finish one of those, and I think Belgium do look like scoring. I wouldn't say that the Germans have got this on ice. Belgium do look good, like they're likely to score next here.
Still there for Belgium. Bondon brothers working together again, but not that time, and Germany have the ball back on their own 7 metre.
Yeah, I think if they do go back to those 2-man plays later on, I think I'd be looking for one of them at half to pick up and go short side. There's so much space, and they've both got the speed to do it. They both look comfortable picking up from half and scooping through, and that's a lost ball, and Germany will look to pull it back before we go into the last 10 minutes. Sorry, Belgium will.
Belgium at halfway. Again, it's a scrappy change from the Belgians.
Yeah, the transition just a little bit slower than you'd want.
Brought in now.
Creep the way up to the line, and
Houllier has it. Houllier. Oh, quick switch now.
Has he got it?
I think he has got it.
He's in. The Germans
No touch.
Oh, he's given it.
Touch. Has been claimed. It was a great play by Houllier.
Germany done pretty well to recover here. It's a nice little flick. Yeah, I think
Maran Jane putting the ball down. He showed some great footwork as well, but I think the touch came in.
Yeah, Alan Stocking coming in with a nice little touch. I think he's recovered quite well there. The middle's got pulled apart, but yeah, they've recovered. A little bit of a stalemate here at the minute. I wouldn't say maybe next score wins, but I think if Germany score, I think they'll probably pull away. Belgium score next, I think we've got a really good finish, because they are creating that space, and when they do get a good little bit of transition, they do look good, and they look good value to go through, but not being able to convert.
Belgium.
Nice.
Again, it's some nice passing, but it's quite a heavy touch, but it's not been given. Germany have the ball back.
Yeah, so 10 minutes to go. I think Germany will just look to close the game out now. They're still only 2 scores up, but I think their transition just, I say that. Put the knockers on them.
Probably the first time we've seen their transition break down, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. Because they do look really good when they're going towards the box, and it's just a little bit of a shame, that one. So the brothers are back on.
Seem to.
Good defence from the Germans. So Germany doing really well and not letting them even get down towards the 7. Quickie play for the Bondon brothers. Good feet.
Probably a little too much on the pass, and it was behind. It would have been a very good take. But as it is, Germany have the ball back again. I know they're only 2, but do you feel that they can probably manage the game out from here?
Yeah, I think they can. They look a little bit more settled on line defence now. I know they've not really had a shot on Belgium's line since they scored, and obviously the yards they're making here, they look good value to close this game out. I'm sure if Belgium are onside there, but Germany get to 5th touch.
Switched on the wing, comes back in field. The pass off.
Oh, that's a shame. Back to 1, and obviously gives them a chance to score, but it's just going to eat the clock up, and that's not what you want from Belgium.
Yeah, just time not on their side at the minute. They've got 8 minutes to try and pull 2 tries back while preventing Germany from scoring themselves. And Germany.
Good dive. Nice little counties play. Steps in field, comes off his right foot.
Corbinian and Pfeiffer diving through there. Touch was made though.
Germany will just take the time here. They can just slow the clock down, run their 2-man plays. And that's ball down. I think he's taken a knock for his troubles, but that's it's a good quickie, good score.
Yeah, there is an injury on the play, but it does look like the try has been given. He's back on his feet.
Yeah, he's taking a little knock when he comes down. But yeah, it's a great score, and it puts them 4-1 up, and it might just put them out of reach for Belgium here.
Ernest Fallon it was. He's going back towards the sub box, but Watch it here.
Steps outside, right foot, right hand down. I think he's just taking a knock there.
Yeah, I think it was a knee to shoulder, I think.
Yeah. But that's what they were trying to run in the first half. They were just trying to run those quick two-man quickie plays, and I think that set more than anything would have liked to use up the whole set of 6 and probably use up to a minute of time. But I'm sure they'll take the score as the other option. Oh, nice speed from the winger.
Oh, that's great speed. Defence recovers well though. Axel Houllier getting the touch in.
So again, Germany will just be happy to slow the play down, use a few more touches, eat up that clock. Ah, that's nice, and I think they're in, and they're really pulling away with this.
Yes, they've stretched it to 5-1.
So it's pretty much the same setup, same play, so it's a quickie play. This time, instead of stepping back in and going through the both middles, he steps back in, cuts back to the outside, stands up his opposite middle, and he's just able to get a good little finish.
Schlossmacher making it 5-1 now, and Germany pulling away in the past couple of minutes. 3-1 to 5-1. That should secure an opening victory for them.
Yeah. We did say at the beginning, obviously Germany do have a bigger squad and they'll probably play a little bit more of a part later in the competition, but it seems like it's playing a little bit of a part in this game because they've really pulled away in the last few minutes.
Well, Belgium coming again though and using the wing. Good Macher though, just stopped in his tracks. It's still there for the Belgians though. Nice switch play, but the touch is made. They'll go back to 7. Prost to Dormal to Kovacs, the captain.
Great defence of the Germans there. They've really composed there. Belgium did run a little quickie play just before that, but yeah, they defended it really well.
Germany starting very, very deep, but you've seen how good their transition is.
Yeah, I think especially in the second half, like you said, less errors, a little bit more composed. They've got that first half of the tournament out of the way, and they've really kicked on and looked good value for the lead they've got now. And again,
Diving through again, and it's another one. And it's just too easy for the Germans at the moment.
Yeah, no, they're looking sharp now.
Stocken going through and putting the ball down.
Similar little play to what they've scored off on the last 2 as well, and they do look a lot sharper now.
So 6-1 Germany lead.
It's a shame, really. I think Belgium, like we said, they started that first half well, they ended the first half well, they've had a good few moments in the second half. They just, maybe if they'd been able to convert a few more scores in that first half, we might have a bit of a closer game. Germany just look a little bit more experienced.
Again, it's turned over. Perez just dropping the ball, which gives it back to Germany. There's 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining.
Yep.
It's comfortable for the Germans now.
Yeah, they'll look to close the game out now, and obviously with it being a 5-day tournament, you want to use these moments to maybe not try new things, but maybe perfect things that they have done in training. Obviously it's a live match situation. Now they've got that victory, there might be moves that they want to run, or little things like that they might want to try, so I think it's a good opportunity for Germany to do that. Belgium will look to salvage, take something into their next game.
But this will be a statement victory for Germany, won't it, going into the rest of the tournament? It will make the other teams sit up and take notice.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been a very, very strong performance by them.
Like we said 4 years ago, this was a close game, and they finished very close together last time. Obviously Belgium finished a place higher than them. So, like we said, there'll be a nucleus of both teams that will remain the same from that tournament, but obviously the new players that Germany have brought in, or maybe a new style of play, a new coach, it's obviously improved them quite a bit from 2018.
It's, Belgium have it back on halfway as we head into the final 2 minutes. They'll be desperate to get something out of the rest of this game. If they can just get another try on the board, that'll give them some great momentum and confidence going into their next one.
And I think, obviously, like we've been saying, there's quite a few of their other categories watching them on the sidelines. I think it'll be great to get something for them. Great ball.
There was a touch made, I think it was.
Yeah, Germany have just defended really well here, and I think they'll probably close the game out.
Just need to manage the game from here with less than 90 seconds remaining. Take the opportunity to bring some fresh legs on.
Yeah, I think obviously what we said before, Germany have got a little bit of a bigger squad, so you know if they can improve as they get through the tournament. Nice feet, ball down.
Yeah, I think that's another.
Yeah, not too happy with that.
Yes, it is. Or is it? Yes, I think it is.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a knock on the line again, but yeah, just a good little scoop through short side. The link's cut, come off his right foot, and he's found that space in between the middles, and yeah, the other middles come in late. I don't think he's too happy with it.
Yeah, they did tap hands.
I think they disagreed about something, but we're all mates in the end.
So 7-1. Germany lead. It's an emphatic opening victory for them.
Yeah, it's a shame. I think, like we said, Germany have been the better team. I'm not sure. I think I would have liked to have seen Belgium score 1 or 2 more. I think they did deserve it. They've, especially in the first half, they just weren't able to convert. And who knows? I think you find that your attack definitely does improve as the tournament goes on. Germany just looked a little bit more experienced today.
Well, that is that. It's an emphatic 7-1 victory for Germany in the opening game. Belgium, who really did start strongly, to be fair, scored the opening try and was defending very, very well to start with. Yeah. But in that second half, Germany just running away with it.
I think, like we were talking about the table from 2018 before, and I think it's clear that both teams have improved on 2018. Obviously, I think maybe most teams may have as well. Yeah, I think Germany especially, obviously finishing 9th last time, Belgium finishing 8th. Germany have taken a bit of a leap from 2018, and they looked experienced, they looked composed, and the less that they made those errors, yeah, they're a good value for that victory, and they'll be a team to watch as the tournament goes on. Obviously, we were talking about the top 4 that are probably nailed on in the men's opens, but you're looking for a team, that outside dark horse team, to chip away at those 4 sides. Then it could be Germany.
Well, we will have a 5-minute break. It's a very, very short turnaround between games. Coming up next, it'll be Jordan and myself once again for the first game in the mixed open competition as Ireland take on the Netherlands. Don't go away.
So glad you on at 9:45. Get yourselves in your Belgian officials, you should have had your front boxes ready to play, and time is still 91 for the next pass off field at 9:35. So just coming up to 1 minute long, so you can up to 1 minute early, so 9:35 pass off. Belgian officials, this is 1 minute long. Belgian officials, this is 1 minute long.
Welcome back to Nottingham. Game 2 of the day is about to start. Ireland against the Netherlands in the mixed open. And there goes the hooter. So we are underway. Ireland in green. The Netherlands, of course, in their traditional orange.
Great to see Netherlands back in the mixed open tournaments. I've got great memories of playing them when I first started playing for England. Had some great games against them. Really high scoring games. I think I'm right in saying they weren't here in 2018.
No, 2016 was the last time they was here. But
so yeah, it's great to see them back, and I think Ireland, similar to the women's and men's, we were talking about before, their opens categories. They'll have improved. I think all the Ireland players will take a real good step on from where they were in 2018. So I'm really looking forward to watching this Ireland team.
Ireland sits in 2018, but the Irish Touch programme had some investment from the Irish Rugby Union as well, and they've used it to great effect.
Definitely, yeah. You can really see that it's like you said, it's taking effect for them, and good hands, nice.
But it's the Netherlands who open the scoring.
32 short from the Netherlands, and they just get to that short side. We saw it in the first game, and Ireland just didn't really take care of their short side there, and Netherlands have done well to exploit it.
Great play out to the wing.
Good finish as well. But yeah, like we said before, obviously Ireland have over the last few tournaments, over the last few campaigns, they've improved massively. Like, they've taken so many leaps, and it's so good to see. It's great having that test in Euros.
Just a slight handling error there by David Glenn. He just couldn't gather it in. It was a good chance for the Irish there.
Yeah, it was a nice little quickie play, good little step back. I think the space probably was there. They just weren't able to finish it off. But it's a really good start from the Netherlands, this. I'm also a fan of the kit. And I'm looking for... I've not brought any kit to swap, I've just realised that. But yeah, I think if you're looking for a kit to swap this weekend, I think the Netherlands could be one. That's a touch pass.
Great pass.
I think that was a touch pass, yeah.
Yes, the touch was right.
It's great speed on the outside.
Mailing Stutz just flying through there.
I think it's the calf sleeves. That's what's giving that acceleration.
So it's Ireland who have the ball again. 10 metres out. Put down by Gian Cunningham.
Yeah, hips not square, and again similar. Even though the probably pitch has dried out a little bit, and obviously we've already seen one game.
Yeah.
For the rest of the morning now, we're going to be seeing a lot of teams playing their first game of the tournament. So I think it'll be similar to the first game. First 20 minutes, a lot of nervous energy. There's going to be some errors. There's going to be some over the marks, and be the team that can control it. 32 long, nice little setup. Gone to that wing
Space
again.
on the wing again.
Oh, what a shame. Oh, what a shame. That was a really nice setup, that was really good.
Netherlands have made a really, really confident start here, and they're using that left wing brilliantly.
Do you know what? It's refreshing to see a team run a 32 long as their attacking play there, because the amount of times that would just be a 32 short. I think she's got in touch there. Yeah, sideline ref's got it, but that was really nice to see a team exploiting a 32 short and getting to the outside. And yeah, it's such a shame such a shame they couldn't get in that corner.
It's the Netherlands who have it again. Great play between the mids and links, now out to the wing.
Yeah, they'll skip to the outside, and they should get a couple of strikes on Ireland's line here, so we'll get to see a different attacking pod for the Netherlands. And they'll go for a short side skip. Ireland have taken care of that.
It's turned back over to Ireland, who yet to really get into the game. They're good defence and attack so far by the Netherlands. Ooh, that's,
I don't think he meant that. But yeah, I think, like we said, it's similar to the first game. Both teams kind of feeling their way into the tournament. A few errors here and there. I think both teams, Netherlands transition probably looks a little bit better.
on final touch. Oh, is he through? I think he is. That's brilliant.
Wow, I think it could have been touch pass, but they've given ball gone and they've exploited that space quite well.
Some great fast passing by the Irish, and it's Joe Balance who goes over.
Yeah, so you see here, it's a middle scoop, and I think the ball is just really, probably just gone. And I think it probably just a little bit of lack of comms from Netherlands, because they had it covered, they had the numbers, but yeah, it was just that half second guessing, and Ireland did well to exploit it. Good skill.
So Netherlands straight up to the 7 metre from the tap off, but ball wasn't grounded cleanly, and that turns it back over to Ireland. They'll look to use their sub box and do.
Netherlands being pretty heavy in the touch, especially on this side of the field. Strong mullet in midfield. Oh, it's gone straight through the middle.
Oh, and it looks like it could be Ireland who take a 2-1 lead, and they've really come back into this game now.
So it's a similar play to before. It's that middle scoop, and we're probably just saying that the two middles are a little bit too loose. He's taking him short side, come off his left foot, opened up that middle channel, and then it's just a case of mirrors, lose your man, and Ireland have done really well there.
Tiege Brennan and Alexander Cassidy linking brilliantly together, and Ireland, after looking quite nervous at the start, have really come back into it and taken hold of the game.
I think that'll be the case for a lot of teams playing their first games, and I think they just look a little bit more composed now, especially now they've got those two scores.
Ireland starting again. Again, good use of the sub box. It's a smooth change by the Irish.
The transition's looking loads better since the start of the game, especially with the with them striking on 4th and 5th. They look a lot more composed, a lot more comfortable. It's quite a young team, this Ireland side.
It comes out long, well taken by it was unlucky. Cunningham just couldn't quite bring it in. It was almost a really great take because it was well above her head.
Yeah, it looks like a quite maybe not inexperienced, but it's definitely a young side, this Ireland side, and I think they do put a lot into their men's and women's team. So yeah, it's great to see that there's obviously quite a few there'll be players making their debuts and stepping up to this level. Netherlands look like they've lost their way a little bit here. They started quite strong. They looked like they knew what they wanted to run. They knew what would work, and they look like they've lost their way a little bit. I think he's given obstruction there, so Netherlands will get another shot.
Yeah, they're starting about 12 metres out.
And they'll roll down to the 7 and probably looking to run those plays now. So they've run a short and a long to begin with, and they'll just look to exploit that space.
Darren Brown goes down and he gets the try.
Nice. I think we spoke about that before in mixed touch. You kind of want to play a bit of chess and move the pieces in the right places, and that's a simple case of guy on girl, and that's what they've created. They've created that space on the outside, and they've exploited it well.
Proving a good foil as well, because she was always available for the pass, and
yeah,
it always leaves the defence in two minds.
The wider your wingers can be, and the obviously if they're there to finish as well, Ireland know that she's quick. Like, they've already seen her break away down the sideline, even though it's pulled back. Stuck looks really quick, and if Ireland are worried about that winger being on the outside, they've managed to pull one back.
Yeah, Brennan going over.
Really good game this, great start.
Yeah, it's a fast start by both teams, and Ireland take the lead back 3-2.
I think we're just seeing the decision.
Yes, it was a good sliding try by Tish Brennan.
We'll work over to that 32 short again. They'll look to get to the outside, and we saw it in the first game that they're trying to run that 32 short, but to make that move effective, it has to be good. It has to be down on the Ireland middle. It's gone on their link, and that just lets Ireland middle retreat, and
bit of space on the left-hand side.
Good defence from Ireland. Good defence. What they've run there is it's called a pocket defence. So it's one middle hanging back and walking at a snail's pace next to the referee. Another Ireland middle's gone up really high to make the touch, and then any play that comes back towards that pocket defender is just ready to shut it down, and they've done really well to finish off that set of 6 for the Netherlands.
Right. It's Ireland who are pressing again, but what we believe it's a penalty against the Netherlands, so it will be a fresh set of 6 for Ireland.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they run here. They'll work their way down to the 7. They'll break into those plays now, and we're starting with a quickie. Not going to run into it. They've got a little bit of space on the left here, and they do go that way. Ball. Ooh!
Touch was made, I think.
Great dive.
Yeah, balance going through.
They're really looking for that middle channel. They've obviously seen that the Netherlands middles are quite loose. They're trying to bring them both up quite high. And I think, done well to get away with that.
Goes wide.
It's 5th touch. Play on.
Netherlands giving them no gaps at the moment. Diving touch, and we'll see them get the ball back.
Joe Ballant's looking good. He's got good feet. He's got a good pill off left and right. He looks to be one of their players that are going to strike along with David Glenn once they're working their way down to the line there. And yeah, it's interesting to see if they can progress what they've been running the more the game goes on. Like we're saying, it's 40-minute goal. He's picked it off.
No
Balance is
interception. He's just going to wait for support though.
Quite a casual interception. Just thought I think he's one of those players that just thinks, nah, I'd rather get down there and run a quickie. So
there's space on the right-hand side.
Oh, that's good defence. She's done so well to recover there.
Francine Vandenberg.
It's a great
just getting over.
Claire Sexton's taken that really well. But really good pressure from Netherlands there to get across. Counties.
Still there for Ireland.
That's down. That's ball down. They've run a nice little counties play there. I think it's Lewis Lalaw. He stepped in field, and he's got a really good dive on. I think what hasn't helped Netherlands here is they've not got off the line, so they're actually making their touch. I think the touch was actually behind his line there. If you're Netherlands there, if you're in that defensive line defence position, you want to be getting back and then consciously taking a step off your line. And they've just not been able to do that. But it was a well executed counties play, and Ireland looking good here.
Yeah, Ireland playing very, very
Short
well.
side scoop. Oh, he's in! Finish!
It is given, yeah. And the Netherlands
score.
back within one.
McNally with a great finish, and I think it was a great pickup. So they've run a quickie play, and because of the collapse in Ireland defence, he's been able to pick up and go short side. He's got a 3-on-2, and could have gone either way. That's a two-way flick. That could have been 5-2 to Ireland with that intercept.
So Netherlands bringing it back within one, and we've had a very, very good open first half.
Yeah. No, it's been great. This really good game. Great dive, good finish. And again, it's Netherlands being on their line and skirting across the try line. You've got to get off your line there. You have to. And all they've done is it's a quickie play, and that Netherlands defender is he's a couple of inches behind his own line trying to make that touch, and you have to get off. It's what we talk about pre and post touch. Pre-touch being any your body position and how you make the actual touch. Your post-touch is making your line and getting off your line, and you've just not been able to do that. It's let them down twice now. It's the reason that they're two behind.
Well, the sun is out here in Nottingham.
Oh, and the wind.
As the wind picks up, as Jordan's water bottle goes somersaulting off the commentary table, as it's Ireland again pressing. We've got to the 7 metre. They're using this right hand side again. I think the touch was made there.
I think that touch was in, but could have been offside there. I think the referee's about to give a penalty.
It's
yeah, he has, yeah.
So 6 touches for Ireland on the 7 metre, a chance for them to stretch the lead to 3 if they use this correctly.
Cassidy, quickie, great touch. I'll tell you what, Alexander Cassidy is rocking an outstanding mullet. I think he deserves a score for the hair. Pick up short side.
And there's space on the,
that's a shame.
There was space on the right hand side, and Flood. I think Flood was looking to go over there. He just couldn't
get it over the top. Yeah, and that's where that left-hand long ball comes into play. And Netherlands defended that well. So the play that they ran there is what the Netherlands scored off before. It's just picking up from half, and it's because the defences are so tight. It's because they're really tight, and again, we're talking about post-touch and being able to react to where the ball's going next. Good feet, good speed.
It's Netherlands who have driven well. They're up to the 7 metre. Opportunity now. Good pass.
Hands.
Oh, that's a great pass and a
Ball
great
down.
take.
Great pill. I think that was a no-look pass. That's beautiful.
Bradley Bonifacio with the pass.
Big fan of that. So he's a quickie, skip to the outside. He's looking at his defender. Beautiful.
That's a great try.
Great ball.
Absolutely fabulous try. And
That's,
Netherlands back within 1.
That's box office. That was great. Yeah, Netherlands are looking good here. I think if they can just fix up their line D, I think we're going to have a really good second half. The thing that's letting them down is literally their pre and post touch, and Ireland are doing really well to exploit it. That's a nice little punish play. Netherlands have got that locked up.
Back they go.
Balance is back on. Bit of a young attacking pod here. And they'll run that punish play. They've got to the outside. I think the sideline's given the touch. I'll tell you what, the Netherlands middle there has done so well to recover. If we see that again, that's such good defence.
Joe Balance diving through, but the touch was made. And it was very, very good defence by the
Yeah,
Netherlands.
so all they're looking to do though it's good mixed touch from Ireland. They're looking to get guy link opposite girl link, and they're looking to run what's called a punish play, and all that is a quickie link on link. They actually did get to the outside, but I think the Netherlands middle has actually tucked under and helped his girl out, and he's managed to recover that really well.
And Ireland Giddy just can't stretch away at the minute, can't
they can't. And credit to Netherlands. I think 5-4 probably about right. I think Ireland have just been better.
I think they had that opportunity on the 7 metre where they could have made it 6-3.
Yeah.
And great defence by the Netherlands, who came straight back up and scored.
They've had a couple of chances to do it, and no, but I've been impressed with both teams here. It's been a good first half. I think with that touch, that probably will take us to 5-4 at half time. And yeah, great first half. That's been great.
It's Netherlands with possession, with 30 seconds to go in this first half. They will use the sub box. If they can get a good drive, they may get an opportunity at the line before the hooter goes.
Yeah, they should get one more touch. That's a nice flick pass, and he's dove a good 7 metres short. He'll be severely fined for that on Saturday night from his teammates.
I think that is all she wrote for the first half. But what a first half we had!
Really enjoyed that. Yeah, that was great. Both teams are a little bit, obviously first game nerves to begin with, but no, some really good touch, and I think Ireland especially, they know what they want to run. It's just about executing it now, and now we've got that first 20 minutes out of the way. First game, first day nerves. I think 5-4. We've got a great second half lined up here.
So it is very, very close as we look at the highlights from this first half of play. 5-4 Ireland lead. But the Netherlands are going to feel they're well in this.
100%. Similar to Ireland, they look like they know what they want to run, they know what will work well, but they've just not been able to execute it to the same level that Ireland have. And I think both teams have looked good, and Ireland probably just a little bit better, but Ireland fully in this game. Netherlands definitely in this game.
I think another thing that has been impressive is a couple of times we've seen Ireland get a fresh set of 6 from the 7 metre line, and Netherlands have managed to defend it twice. Yeah.
Obviously, the only thing that, like we said, the only thing that's letting the Netherlands down is their post touch on the line. If they can just make the effort to get off their line once they do get onside, that fixes up 2 scores straight away. So if they can do that for the rest of the half, it definitely keeps them in there. They've obviously got their strike players on line attack that they know what they want to run. So hopefully they can carry that on for the next 20 minutes.
So both teams in their respective huddles. You see, 9 tries means that we've got quite a good highlights package.
Yeah, definitely, just from one game. But
that was a great try.
Great score, that. Really enjoyed that. Little no-look pass, skip to the outside, and like we said, Ireland just look a little bit more composed, even though it's great to see such a young team so composed on the line. They've obviously just been thrown into that situation. They haven't really got an older, experienced player to rely on, which is what you sometimes get with a lot of mixed teams. You normally have maybe 1 or 2 older players, sort of on-field coaches to guide around the younger players. It's so good to see. So I think it's balance. I think it's Lalore and Glenn when they come on together. That's a really young pod of three lads, and they're just out there playing touch footy. Like they can just run what they want, and that over the years and over the seasons, that's just going to pay massive for those players.
I think another thing we've seen from Ireland as well is you mentioned those 3, but on the wing as well we've had Cunningham and Murphy. Yeah. Really getting into some good positions on the wing with loads of space.
Yep.
You know, if they could have been found, Ireland could have found themselves
yeah,
further ahead.
I think a couple of, if they did have maybe a bit of a long ball specialist in this team, like Clara Sexton on that right hand side wing, she's found herself in loads of space. She's been able to take some balls well, but Netherlands have defended really well and been able to turn it. On our near side wing, Mailing Stoit has been so fast coming down this wing, and I've been looking for those plays this second half.
Because we've got another mixed game after this one, and we'll be seeing Bulgaria make their debut, so that should be interesting.
Oh, it's great seeing new teams, that's well good.
Yeah. They'll be taking on Wales, who were runners-up in the 2018, so quite a baptism for the Bulgarians that's going to be, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, I think that Welsh team, I think, has changed a little bit over the last few years, if I remember rightly. I think they've chopped and changed a few players over, and so Dan Roberts, number 10 for Wales, he was the men's Opens captain in 2018 and 2019, I think. Things have changed a little bit for the Welsh in mixed and men's, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of team that they field at this tournament. I think Wales probably will be England's main threat in the mixed tournament. That'll be an interesting one to see how Wales start.
Well, we will switch attention back to this game. Just 1 point in it as Ireland lead the Netherlands by 5 tries to 4. And it's the Netherlands who have the tap off for this second half. They'll be looking for a confident drive.
Yeah, I think if they can get a score here, I think obviously 5-5 is a great start to the second half, but I think that's it'd be a big confidence boost if they do that. So Ireland are running that pocket defence here, so that middle's just set, and it's fifth touch. It's good defence from Ireland, I think. Netherlands, if they're going to have a chance at winning this game, they're going to have to recognise that Ireland are running that type of defence. The sooner they do that, and the sooner that they exploit it, the better chance they've got, really. If they take too long to recognise what the Ireland are doing, it's going to be the second half might be quite tough for them.
Thanks. Ireland do have driven really well. They're at the 7 metre now. Quick switch pass as it goes to the left hand side. Comes back in field now. Gunning to play. Ooh. Oh, no look pass.
Yep.
Bit of a risk.
I think it was fifth touch. I think they had created the space to come back on the right, but they just didn't exploit it. I think there's an injury in backfield here for the Netherlands, so he's just going to get off as quick as possible and they'll try and get downfield.
Smooth change by the Netherlands.
Yeah, they've got to start going forward now. They do get in the half, and you'd like to kind of get to fourth and fifth with a bit of a strike play, and that is fifth.
Right.
And that's a turnover. So yeah, Ireland look quite composed there, and they'll do the same. They'll just return back with a bit of transition, get back towards their box, and it's a strong drive.
It's another
really
good
drive.
change. And Ireland just seem to have turned it up a little bit since half time.
Yeah.
See what they can do
Short
here.
side. Great pill.
Space on the left as well. Oh, he doesn't need it.
Really nice. I tell you what, Joe Balance has got a great passing motion. Big fan of it. He's come off his right hand. It's similar to what both teams have had success with quickie play. Comes off his right foot and goes short side. He's not actually gone outside his middle this time, but the thing that they've set up quite well, it's nearly a fire up in that they've ran the quickie, they've fired over to his link. And again, those chess pieces in the right position for Ireland. It's boy v girl, and
but again, it was Lewis Lalaurie. He went through there. He dropped the shoulder and used the dummy, but he had Clara Sexton on the left-hand side as well.
Yeah, 100%.
And when you're in defence in that position,
there's not.
You're in a no-win situation.
You can plan for it, you can prepare for it, and you can have structures in place to sort of try and preempt those moves and shut those moves down. But once you come up with it, and you've got to make a decision, and a lot of the time it's just communication. And if you're not being told to help out, or you're not being told to stay out, you've got to make the decision yourself, and it's a tough one to make.
That's
Netherlands,
lack of communication, I think, there.
yeah, they look a little bit flustered on line attack there.
And you get the feeling that Ireland haven't been able to stretch away, have they? I think if they did manage to probably get 3 tries ahead, that will give them the impetus to maybe go on and take the game.
Always been 1 or 2 ahead, and Netherlands are still in this game. They're still there and thereabouts. And oh, nice feet.
Oh, well played.
Let's give it. Great hands.
And it's the Cunningham and Murphy combination on the wing.
Brilliant. Yeah, really good hands. O'Brien White tipping onto a winger to Cunningham. Is it to Cunningham or is it to Murphy? And it's really, brilliant, really good.
So fantastic play by the Irish, and they do go 3 ahead, 7-4.
Yeah, so if you're Ireland now, you'd like to kick on, and Netherlands are still in this. There's still plenty of time if they can pull 1 or 2 back. They've definitely, I mean, they've scored 4. They've got more than capable of at least scoring another. So, see again, Ireland running that pocket defence, and it's working so well for them.
There's a bit of space for them now. The little reverse pass just didn't quite come off.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Netherlands have recognised yet or looked of a way to exploit that pocket defence Ireland are running, and Ireland are just finding it quite comfortable to sit back and shut down those line attack plays. That's great yards, really good yards from O'Brien White.
At the 7 metre. Oh, it's intercepted.
That was weird.
I think Alexander Cassidy wasn't expecting that. He's holding his mouth, so I think that may have hit him in the face.
Top one in the chops, yeah.
It's a good drive by the Netherlands, though. It makes some very, very good yards here. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just getting caught in 5th though, and it's a bit of a static play now. And
I think the touch was made.
Cassidy's done well to recover that. Yeah, really good.
So
see, the last few plays, Netherlands have looked. Oh, great feet.
Oh, just a bit of a scrappy change
Really good feet.
from the Irish, and good high defence by the Netherlands as well.
Yeah, the midfield is really good, and it's shutting Ireland down quite well here. So 5th touch in your own half. Oh,
It's a bit of an interlight as it comes to the right hand side.
no, that's mild. That's so much better from the Netherlands, and you kind of get a little bit of a tap off set now if they can get to the box quick enough. And like that we were saying, they started quite well, and their strike players seem to know what they wanted to run. They've gone away from that in the second half, and so they get a fresh set of 6. So now you've essentially got a tap off now.
Yeah. So 6 from the halfway for the Netherlands. A good opportunity for them to bring it within 2.
They've got the players to do it. I think they've just got to execute. They've been running the plays. So there we go. They've got on the outside.
Touch was made. So goes back to the 7.
What was working well from the first half is that short side scoop. And I know it's a little bit of a high percentage play, in that, you know, if you get caught from half, you've got to give the ball up. But I think those are the plays that they want to be running.
There is space.
Here.
There is space.
Quickie on the link. Oh, that's a shame, because the way they ran that, I thought they created that space quite well. They ran a really good punish.
I think Mayling Stuck came in from the wing looking for the ball, and then
Yeah, and yeah, you're right. If she had just hung on the paint, she was in. And they're on 5th touch now, so they've got a bit of a Hail Mary play on last. I think it's 5th anyway. Created a little bit of space. Good defence from Ireland.
And yet there is the turnover. So Ireland have it on their own 7 metre.
Could have been over the mark that, but Ireland have got away with it. Balance has got through. Good right foot. Oh, he's still going.
Great yards from Balance.
Oh,
and now finally he is touched, but what a play.
Comes off with a cheeky little grin. I think he's my favourite player so far.
Yeah, he's getting congratulations on the bench in front of us, and so he should. He really made a great drive there to give Ireland another good opportunity of going over for a try at the 7 metre now. They're using this left hand side as a dive is made, but I think the touch was made by the Netherlands.
Great to see Ireland men's opens player John Ennis in the mixed open box, just lending a bit of helping hand. Obviously they've got their coaches. I think that run might have taken its toll on Joe Balance.
Yeah, we'll not describe what's.
I doubt he went out last night, but yeah, I think that run might have taken it out on him.
The Netherlands 10 metres away from their own on the halfway line as they've turned it back over to Ireland, and Joe Balance does not look too well in front of us. We'll not show it on camera because it won't be pleasant.
No. Let your imaginations run wild with that one. Yeah, it's not pretty. I think somebody who said, yeah, the Joe. The men's opens players are having a laugh with him coming past. I'm sure his friends and family appreciate this on commentary later once he explains what's happened.
It's a good drive by the Netherlands.
Good feet. That's good defence from Ireland again. They've recovered really well. Very similar to what Ireland ran against Netherlands in the first half. Obviously, like we talked about with pre and post touch, Ireland have just done well there to take that step off the line. So any touches made from Ireland, there's not really a decision to make from the referee, because if you're making a touch behind your own line and the ball's down, more than not, the referee's going to give that score, and that's where those 2 big scores came from in the first half. And it's kind of been tough for Netherlands to really pull those back at any point.
It has tightened up quite a bit in this.
It has, yeah.
In this second half, just the 2 tries so far. 9 in the first half.
Yeah.
So.
Good feet.
Or is that the third? No, I don't think it is. Darren Curran diving through, but was touched on the way.
So they go back to that quickie play again. They run it. Good D from Netherlands, really good. Yeah, really good D. Vandenberg on the outside. She came in for that shot. She read the play really well. I think any long ball over the top, it would have been tough to recover from, but she's read that really well and shut that play down.
Good speed,
good yards from Netherlands, and they've got to get that ball down. Really, that's hurting their momentum. Anytime you get touched, you have to bring it back. Obviously, you want to be breaking through, but you've got to recognise when to get the ball down. And I think that's touch pass, so they'll bring it back.
It's Pam Grafland there with the run through. He did so well, made some great yards, but Ireland defence really holding firm in this second half.
Yeah, now they look a lot more composed. I think, like we talked about at half time, the Ireland are running a pocket defence and a pocket middle defence, and Netherlands either haven't reacted to it. It's good defence. Either they haven't reacted to it, or they've not been able to figure out how best to run against it. So I think that's helping them quite a bit.
Ireland playing it across the line.
Good foot. Nice. Right foot step. Nice.
Cunningham looking to sidestep away to the line. Just Netherlands defence holding well. Oh, that's not what they wanted.
No.
6 for Ireland
Got
on the
some space
7, and there's
outside.
space over here.
Oh, they both wanted to score.
In fact, Ireland still had possession, so there must have been a penalty.
And Alexander Cassidy and David Glenn will just take control, run out the clock, they'll run that punish play, there's no touch. I think he's going to give pulling out of the touch there.
Just
They'll go back to that
conference
play
between
again.
the two.
Good D.
Yeah, the 3 there, it was not much of a gap to go for, but still went for
Oh,
it.
they're going to give it.
Oh, they have given it.
Giving ball down, maybe one of them was offside. But yeah, similar to what they were running in the first half, it's a punish play, quickie on the link. They're looking to exploit that short space on the outside, and it's a good finish. It's a really good dive, and 8-4 now. I think Ireland have put the game on ice. They've been way more composed in the second half.
I think the key is, although they've stretched their lead by scoring 3 more tries, they've actually tightened up so much at the back end.
Yeah.
And that's been the difference in this second half.
Yeah, like we said, I think that pocket defence, I think the more experienced teams, when they come to play against Wales and England and maybe Scotland, I think those are the teams that will exploit that. It's a very exploitable defence. But if you've not come up against it before, or you haven't really got the players to sort of on-field coach your way through that situation. So you see now, Boy Middle's come up really high, Orange Boots has just sit back and he can just chill and watch. They've exploited that well. So that is one of the ways they can get around it.
And it is given. And William Dennis puts the ball over and he wants to get on with it quickly, goes running back for the ball. They don't feel they're out of this yet.
No, they can never pull a few scores back, and obviously, like we said, it's a 5-day comp, so you want to be taking positives from the back end of each game. If you can finish a game well, you know that'll take you into the afternoon in much better spirits. But yeah, nice little score from Ireland, and they'll be happy to pull one back.
Well, they're at the 7 metre.
David Glenn comes off his right foot.
Good defence. Bailey for the Netherlands, just stepping out and making the touch.
So they'll go back to that punish play. And that's such a shame. I think a really good progression on from their last score. It's the same exact play, the same exact players, and he skipped to the outside. When he comes off his left foot to step in the field, the thing that makes that play quite threatening is that the far boy middle, he has to tuck under, and normally he wouldn't have to do that. So that's where that space came from. That middle channel was opened up, and they just weren't able to execute. But that's a play they're going to have success with against any team in this tournament. It's a play that all this the 23 stuff and running plays on links. It's kind of started only being run this year or late last year, and a lot of teams are running it with success, and Ireland look like they're one of them.
There's the Netherlands on the attack. Oh, there's a bit of space here. Oh, that's a great diving touch.
Looked a little bit forward to me, but I think they're going to give it.
They've given the try.
No, they've right. Yeah, I think that's been given. It was
Cassidy was definitely claiming the touch, but
so he's picked up from half.
See it from behind here. Yes,
yeah, it looked like he was claiming it to me. I thought they'd given forward pass. It looked like he was handing off to a running back.
So it's Grafland who goes over, and Netherlands within 2. Only 2 minutes left, so time not on their side.
If it finishes, if they do finish 2 down, so they're going back to that punish play. Good dive. just having a little chat.
Just two officials just deciding if it.
They're going to give a penalty. Yeah, if I'm Netherlands and I finish 2 down, I'm going to be pretty devastated, because I can pick up those 2 scores in the first half that'll. D again.
Yep. Touch made as
the only thing
Curran went diving through.
The only thing I would like there from that Netherlands middle is to be making that touch with his right hand and trying to get on the outside of the ball carrier. So they're going to run the same play again. No, they're not. They're going over to that punish. They run it again. Good low dive. Very good defence from that Netherlands middle. He's done so. He did the exact same in the first half, where he's come across and helped his girl out. He's done really well there. Ireland have. It's a little bit static. Short side scoop. Wingers open. Right hand. Great finish.
Really good finish and a great take as well.
Great dive.
I think it was Clara Sexton, or just see from this.
Yeah, I think. Sexton
from the behind
seems to
camera.
be their far winger. Tell you what, back shoulder take. She's all Sexton's thinking about there is, I've got to get this down as quick as possible. I don't need to think about the dive or think about. I'm just going to get it away from my defender, and she's done so well there.
So 9-6 Ireland lead, as we're only a few seconds away from the hooter.
Yeah,
Netherlands pressing strongly.
They've run a little bit more composed this half, and
I think they do get a try to finish the game. I think, or do they?
Yeah, they do. So 9-7.
Yeah. So 9-7 it finishes, and Jules Rieser for the Netherlands going over. So a strong finish to the game from the Netherlands, to be fair.
Yeah, I think Ireland definitely deserved that. They deserved the win. They were more composed. They were more settled, especially as they grew into the game. I think, like we said, it's those 2 scores in the first half where post touch from Netherlands just wasn't up there. And let's hope they improve on that throughout the day, and they'll look back on that. They'll realise how long Ireland were running that pocket defence and how well they could have exploited it. And I think Netherlands will be kicking themselves. At the same time, I think Ireland probably did deserve that one.
Well, Jordan, thanks for joining me for these first couple of games. We'll see you again. Well, we'll hear you again later, and I'm sure you'll be back on camera with Ian a little later as well. But thanks so much for providing your expertise for these
no worries.
games.
Tell you what, it's been a great 2 opening games.
Yeah.
If this is what's going to be like for the rest of the tournament, we've got a great 5 days. Yeah.
Well, coming up next, it's Bulgaria against Wales, also in the Mixed Open. Bulgaria making their debut in the competition. I'll have Ben Meakin on commentary with me for that one, but join us for that very, very soon.
1 minute more. Please take to the field, ready to play. Stand by.
Welcome back to Nottingham as we're underway in game 3 of the day, also in the mixed open. It's Bulgaria in white making their debut, and they're taking on Wales, who are runners-up in 2018. They are in black, and they're making a very strong start, but just not quite handled correctly. And Bulgaria will have their first play. I'm delighted to say, joining me on co-commentary from the NQ Rebels, it's Ben Meakin. How are you, mate?
Good morning. Yes, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. Voice holding up.
Oh, yes, you're only game 3.
Game 3.
Day 5 might be a bit different.
Only another 55 to go.
This is going to be a good game, I think.
Yes, and Bulgaria making their debut in the competition. Do you know anything about them? Is there anything you
The last time I saw Bulgaria as an international team was when I went to the Junior Touch Championships. I think it was in Scotland in 2019. I think they made their first appearance there. That's the last time I've seen them. So they're an unknown, but hopefully they can contain this very, very good Wales team.
Yeah, the Wales runners-up last time, of course. So you would think they would be heavy favourites for this game.
Yes, as they go in for their first score, actually. I think it was just a long ball when they just got on the outside and just ran between the link and the wing to score.
Stefan Prudhock going over.
I think this Wales team is very different actually to the Wales team of 2018. There's a fair few changes, but it looks like Wales have decided to put all of their best players into this mixed opens team to try and compete with the other nations to try and win that gold this year.
Yeah, because Scotland, who are the dominant team here in this, they've won the last 4 competitions, so they.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I think Scotland have decided to look and try and compete at men's and women's a bit more, and decided to maybe not put their newer players into the mixed setup. I'm not sure how they'll go this year. It's a very new team. I think England will be very good, but it's going to be between England, Wales, Scotland, I think. So, yeah, interesting to see how they go. Owen Carroll with a pick-up, 33 channel.
Just couldn't find anyone open. It was Amberley Rook who was in a lot of space, but couldn't find her in with the pass.
Owen Carroll's from Nottingham as well, so he'll be he's on home turf.
Oh yes, of course. I suppose it's worth mentioning Nottingham's my home city, your home city as well.
It is, yes. So,
although you do live in Manchester.
I do live in Manchester now, but Nottingham holds a close place to my heart.
So 2 homeboys on commentary.
Absolutely. I think the refs are a little bit confused here. I think one ref called it over the mark, I think the other ref called it was kicked in the ruck.
It's Bulgaria. Get a chance to go over halfway.
They're driving
Good
well.
drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, some flick out the back as well. That beard is very good as well by number 60,
Roberto Badola. Yes, it's one of the better beards we've seen.
Absolutely.
There's
nice little tip on into the wing up.
Wales make the change, 1-0 ahead. Bulgaria will be feeling their way into the tournament here, won't they? But
it's a big feeling out process.
Yeah, they really couldn't have had a much tougher start, could they?
Absolutely not.
Facing the runners-up from 2018.
No, the organisers could have done them a favour here, but they've really not. But no, it looks like they know the game at least, and they're moving forward. You know, some teams that are new don't even move forward, whereas you can tell Bulgaria they've trained their 4-man drive, their 3-man drive that they're doing in the middle of the park now. It's just trying to get something off the back of that, which is obviously a bit more difficult.
Yeah, they're just a little bit static.
Yes,
the Bulgarians, but. The thing is, this is the only way that teams like this will learn and develop, isn't it? By coming to these sort of tournaments and playing against the likes of Wales or the best teams in Europe. That's how they're going to get better.
Absolutely, it's all about learning for these guys, and you know they know that they won't win the competition, but that's not what they're here for. They're here to learn, and they're here to try and compete with the teams, the likes of Netherlands that played earlier and stuff like that. So yeah, nice little sweeper play. Just good defence by Bulgaria.
Holding that defence well. Wales.
They're running their sweeper play again. Sweeper goes round.
Space on the right hand side. Just couldn't be taken by Katie Allen. It was high, it was well overhead. It would have been an excellent take if she'd have caught it.
Yeah, absolutely. If she ran with a bit more depth, she might have got it, but it was a tough catch in the end.
Come Bulgaria again. Oh, that's a shame.
Unlucky.
Stefan Doyshev just couldn't quite take it with him. 3 games in, we had that big rain shower before play started. Do you think that will still be having an effect now, or do you feel the pitch and the balls will have dried out enough by now?
I had a walk around about 10-20 minutes ago. It's definitely dried out already. It's quite hot out there, it's quite humid. It's not Malaysia humid, 2019 World Cup, but it's definitely a little bit humid and it's definitely dried up, so we should start to see a few more long balls. You can see the passes are starting to stick a bit more as well, as Wales run another sweeper play. Throw it back.
Passing.
It's really good defence by the Bulgarian winger. She shuts down that play. They couldn't get the ball on the overlap.
Yeah, great defence by the Bulgarians. Wales getting into the position, they're getting very, very deep, but they just can't seem to break through at the minute. It might do now. Touch is claimed though, and it is given.
Again, a really, really good touch by the Bulgarian link.
Vasila Dobreva.
There you go. Yeah, Wales ran a really nice 33 switch, so they take on their 2 middles and they switch the ball, creating an overlap, but they all shut down and allowed the ball. But I think Bulgaria have actually given the ball back to Wales with a drop here.
Yeah, interesting. Bulgaria choosing to change there, not while they was playing past the sub box. So do you think that's just a little bit of a lack of experience somewhere?
I think so. It's also probably the speed that it's being played at. I think if you look at Bulgaria, as we get another sweeper, step back and pass into hole 1.
Yeah, Michael Roberts going over, getting the ball down, and Wales go 2 ahead with almost 8 minutes gone.
Yeah, going back to your point on Bulgaria and subbing, I think looking at their sub box, I think they're already feeling the pace, and you know they've not played at this speed before, so it's always going to be a bit of an issue. And that first game of the day is always, you're trying to run off that nervous energy as well, so it's always harder. So we'll see how they come and how they grow into this game.
Slip there.
It's not dry in that patch over there.
It's go back. It is very humid out there. Mel Day was over here before the start of play, and muggy was how she called it.
Definitely is muggy, actually. Yes.
And that is going to play a part, certainly as the day goes on, you would think, because they're going to have a couple of games today. You think later on, when it's a little hotter, probably a little more humid, those 20-minute halves and 40-minute games are going to take their toll a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Like when you get to, You know, if it stays this hot and it is as humid as it is, you know, the water intake's going to go up, the food intake's going to have to go up before games, and that is definitely going to play a part, especially in the second half. You know, your better teams should always look to go over teams, and when it is as hot as it is, or as muggy as it is, shall we say, it will play a part. Wales go for a 32 set up, a 32 short into hole 1, and it's a great score by Owen Carroll.
It's a lot of space, and it's just that little lack of experience from Bulgaria not closing in on the defence and allowing the gap for Owen Carroll to go through there.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked like they had the spaces covered, but clearly the space was just a bit too big. Owen Carroll sweeps round, and you know, he's a big tall lad that could probably dive from 7 metres and always make it. I remember when he was 5 and he was only 1 foot tall. He's grown a lot since in the last couple of years.
Bulgaria, it's a good drive from them so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've got to 7. Good use of the wing.
Looks like they've got a couple of touches here now.
What do you think Bulgaria's ambitions will be for this game? Is it just a case of trying to maybe get on the board, or try and keep it within a certain number of tries?
For me, I wouldn't put it down to a score. I would just look to how, you know, enjoy it more than anything. That is, obviously, it's their first game ever in a European Championships. They've got to enjoy it. If they get a score, then absolutely brilliant, which they might do here. I know it's good defence, but it's actually a really good quickie play. So they've obviously been working on a few things in their training camp leading up to this. So yeah, maybe they get that first score on the board.
Just stopped at the 7 metre, but they're pressing well, and now space on the wing, and Annika Kozova just touched on the way through. Still there for Bulgaria as Dojchev went through but was touched, and that turns the ball back over to Wales. But that was encouraging from Bulgaria.
It was actually the first time that Bulgaria have worried Wales, and they actually did. You know, you had the Wales players diving around to make touches, which means they're worried that they're not going to make the touch. So that's really encouraging to see from Bulgaria, and I'd want to see that more.
And down it goes again as Wales look to stretch it to 4, and they're going to. It's an unfortunate slip, and Michael Roberts takes full advantage and puts the ball over.
Yeah, it was a really unfortunate slip actually. Wales are just going down the middle, just a tip back, and the guy turning just slips, and he just trips over his own feet. Unfortunately, they run through the middle. It's a really unfortunate score. You can't put it down to good play. It's just unfortunate from Bulgaria's side of it.
Bulgaria start again from halfway. 4-0 Wales lead. But after an encouraging drive on their last foray into the offensive zone, they'll probably have a little bit more confidence as they take the ball on here.
Absolutely, it looks like they're trying to set up a quickie play, which is a 33 play. So it's their middles. Oh, they're looking for a scoop. And
final touches. Nikolai Stoyanev and Nikolai Langev just bump into each other on the line.
Just a bit of confusion there, I think, and they are trying to do some stuff, which it is, they are trying to make a good setup play, and that's encouraging to see.
But here come Wales at speed, over halfway already. And, they're already at the 7 metre. Just calming it down now. Good line defence from Bulgaria, but the gap is opened up now, and Wales go over again, and that was just a case of a lack of communication, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and I think that the middle just lost where the line was, which enabled him to go short. So, yeah, it was again an easy-ish score, but a lot of learning from Bulgaria's side here. I think that's going to be the biggest thing that they take out of this.
And the thing is, this will give them an idea of what they've got to expect for the rest of the week. They know they're playing the runners-up from 2018. It's a very, very tough start. They'll hopefully feel that it will get slightly easier as the week goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. I know they won't be playing Wales every single time. That, you know, they'll be playing the likes of Netherlands and Ireland, which they might actually get a good run and they might get a few scores on the board. I think that's their ambition here, isn't it? To, you know, learn. I think the biggest learn is always going to be about how they can improve, how they can take it back to their local clubs and make their local clubs better, and then hopefully get a couple of scores on the board against those teams that are probably we don't class as strong. Wales pick up for a scoop. It's a really good defence. 33 channel by number 10, Stefan.
Deutsche, he seems to be their pivotal player. He's been involved a lot, Stefan Deutsche.
Yeah, absolutely. He looks like he's been training well. He looks like he knows the game. I think if we could get people moving around him, then he should be able to get some scores.
Bulgaria, this is quite a good drive so far. It's just figuring out that Welsh defence. There's not many gaps there. The passing is very good by the Bulgarians. They're passing it well. It's just trying to figure out that lock Wales defence.
You're right.
Over halfway.
It's about unlocking the defence, and it's trying to do that. They are passing the ball, and who's this coming out on the wing?
Oh, it's a great stride away. I think it's Amberley Rook who just put on the burners on the right hand side and slides over, and that's going to be a 6th try for Wales. See. There she goes. A really good try.
Yeah,
great speed as well.
Absolutely. You were talking about Bulgaria moving the ball. Wales had just got the ball, moved it towards their sub box. Bulgaria couldn't get across, and she just got the overlap and got through. It was a really good speed to put on their burners and score.
Well, the rain has returned
back in Nottingham,
so that is going to bring another factor to this game, as we'll probably have a bit of a greasy top surface and the ball will probably become slippier and more difficult to handle.
Both Bulgaria and Wales haven't been throwing the ball around too much. You know, it's all small 2 to 5 metre passes, so the range shouldn't impact that too much. It's when they start to throw the 4-on-3s or the 3-on-2s. Oh, Wales interception. So that's 0 touch now. They get a 7 touches for an intercept. So that was first, second coming.
Yeah, it's a strong drive by Wales as they bring fresh legs on from the sub box. Was that forward?
No, it was actually over the mark. Whoever that was on the wing got a bit too carried away, went too forward as the touch was made, and didn't drop touch to put the ball on the floor at the right time. And now Bulgaria have got a penalty.
There you can see. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but the rain is really driving across the field. It's not heavy rain. It's quite light, but
it's not coming down, it's going from left to right.
Yeah, I
think
the wind is making a big difference.
Again, Wales run a sweep up. Owen Carroll sweeps round.
Space on the right, uses it, and that is number 7. And it's been a dominant performance by Wales.
Just under 2 minutes to go. Owen Carroll swept round. We'll see that on the replay shortly.
Anna Melmoth who popped the ball down. So 7-0 Wales lead. Bulgaria with a good drive though from their tap off. They're on final touch now.
There's a
long pass.
Unlucky.
Just in front of Anika Kozova.
I actually think the referee missed a call there. I think it was a dummy half caught because he put the ball down, but that didn't have any material effect on the play. So Wales have got the ball, and they're going to look to drive up the pitch and continue doing what they've been doing every single time to go 70 metres and score.
Down they go over halfway, and it's an incredibly fluid attack from Wales in this first half. They looked excellent going forward. The pass just didn't have enough zip on it to get over to the right wing.
No, Wales number 7 James Enon, he scooped, went short side, and his pass didn't get to the winger. Probably should have stepped back and looked at the 4-on-3.
And Bulgaria will start very deep in their own half as we're coming to the final embers of this first half. As they turn it back over.
And that was another over the mark called by the referee, so Bulgaria giving the ball up.
And there goes the final hooter, sorry, the half-time hooter, so this is the final play. And there's a touch made. That will bring the half-time whistle. So a dominant performance from Wales in this first half. 7-0 they lead, but you know, Bulgaria, they've given it everything out there in this first half. I mean, what do you think they're going to take from that?
I think you've just nailed it, really. The Bulgarians are, they're coming off, they're tired, they've given everything that they can, and they've actually done some good stuff in defence. They've actually stopped Wales in a couple of times, so I think they'll be very proud of their first 20 minutes at European Championships.
We've seen the highlights here from the first half and the tries that Wales have scored. Seeing that one just diving through, and it's just been a case of perhaps that little lack of experience in defence for the Bulgarians that have allowed Wales to sort of pull away as they have.
You're absolutely right. So if you look at all of the scores, they've all been down the middle. So if Bulgaria could just tighten up and move a bit closer to each other in the middle of the park, then we would have to cause Wales to throw the ball a bit more. And it's now raining, and that would be a bit harder to catch the ball in this wet. So I think Bulgaria should tighten up their defence in the middle, and that should definitely help them moving forward.
It's as you say, take nothing away from Wales, and they've shown Bulgaria plenty of respect as well, and they've not taken them for granted at all. Bulgaria have had quite a few chances on the 7-metre line as well. It's just finding that key really to unlock the Welsh defence.
Absolutely, and they've done it once or twice where they've got the Welsh defenders running and chasing and trying to get them on the outside, and the Welsh defenders have had to dive. So hopefully in the second half they'll get another opportunity and they can try and get one on the board.
Yeah, see the Bulgarians in front of us now. They're just chatting through things. It's can't be easy when you sort of 7 behind, but like we say, this is their first championships, and I suppose their goals are going to be just trying to get some scores on the board and then trying to keep other games as close as possible. Absolutely,
I've been there where I've been playing against, I play for England against Australia. It's completely different speed, but we were still losing 7-0 at half time. It's hard to pick yourself up, but your goals change and you have to try and aim for the goals rather than scores. So it's just trying to work on those goals that you can control, and that's the biggest thing that Bulgaria will look to do in the second half.
I think quickly we just look at touches that are worldwide rather than just this is obviously probably the top Northern Hemisphere championship for touch, and obviously it's the World Cup next year, but that's where the Australians and New Zealanders are quite dominant.
Absolutely, they're so far ahead of the Northern Hemisphere. They've been playing touch for so long, and they actually start playing touch at 5, 6, 7, whereas in Europe especially you start playing touch in your teenage years, and that has a massive material effect on the standard of touch.
I think it's the case that Southern Hemisphere teams, they start with touch and then progress to either rugby league or union, where it's the other way round.
That's absolutely right.
And I know it's been mentioned before when we've done commentary on the England touch games earlier this season, it was mentioned how the New Zealanders and Australians, a lot of their rugby league, rugby union players credit starting on touch with how they play the game and how they're able to pass and move, and it really helped them.
Yeah, well, you watched the Commonwealth Sevens that was on Sunday in Coventry. Australia women were so far ahead of any other team, and majority of their players actually played touch, and I think half of them played for Touch Australia. So that gives them that foundation to be able to throw a miss pass, to throw a 4-on-3, to catch the ball and have that speed and agility that you can transfer over to rugby union and sevens especially.
And this is the thing in Europe, though, that the standard is improving all the time. The more competitions, the more competitive it gets. It's only going to improve the teams.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I started playing for England in 2012, and where we are now in terms of standard, it's chalk and cheese. The knowledge that the players have now got, and the coaches and the referees, it's all improved, and that is because people are putting more time and investment into the sport.
Well, here we are away again in the second half, and it's Bulgaria who have the tap off. So they're already at the 7 metres, so a good drive so far from the tap off for them.
Trying to set up a quickie play, 33.
Diving through. Belin Lamov.
I think if he could have got the ball back a little bit quicker, he would have had a bigger opportunity to score there.
Long pass out to the right hand side. A little ambitious, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
So Wales have the ball back, but they're very deep in their own half.
Wales won't mind that because they've been working on their transition and their subbing, so they look to get all of their players off in the first half, in their defensive half, and as they come on, they look to set up an attack, and that's what they'll do there. And they've just tried to tip it back and it's gone to ground.
So Bulgaria picking the ball back up again. Good defence from them. Now that will give them a bit of confidence at the start of this second half.
Again, we talk about their goals and them not allowing Wales to get to their own defensive line. We've been one of them, so it's definitely a great start.
That's Periov just looking to the heavens. In fact, Bulgaria still have it, so no penalty there for Bulgaria as they start again. And they're just not really using the transition of the sub box like we would normally see. They tend to be making changes when they want to rather than as they're running past the box, which is probably something that they'll learn with experience.
Yeah, I think you look to sub when you're coming off from defence as they go for a quickie set-up. I think it was just ball down because the ball went forward rather than backwards from that roll ball. Bulgaria just need to go forward a bit more when they're looking to attack, so they're taking steps backwards rather than going forward, and that allows the Welsh defence to push them even further back.
It's Wales who go over halfway.
So they're going to do the same thing. They're going to make a dump between the middles. They have a scoop up, and then they go into goal.
Oh, not just
She's dropped it. She's dropped it on the far side.
It was a great run by James Enyon as well. I think it was Amberley Rook on that far side. Just couldn't quite gather it in and get the ball down.
No, first game jitters potentially. Don't want to be doing that in a final because that could cost you, but I think they'll be okay in this game.
I think they've got a very comfortable cushion. You never say never. Stranger things have happened in sport.
Exactly.
Bulgaria again. Turn back over to the Welsh who start from halfway. Tap off play really.
Yeah, so I think Bulgaria didn't even get to halfway in their 6 touches, so it's something that they need to work on, is how they get going forward, especially when they're tired. Wales are going to set up a 33 touch.
Oh, just diving through. And that is an 8th try for the Welsh, and it's Callum Richards who goes down this time.
Yeah, it was a middle setup, and it's what we call a quickie play. He steps back. It's actually an open side quickie, and I think the link defender doesn't realise where the line is, and he's able to dot the ball down. Don't think he needed the dive.
All right. Probably using the recent shower to its best effect. They've probably got a bit of a greasy top surface again.
He won't be welcoming those knees after 5 days of diving. I promise you that now.
I think anyone who played in Banbury a couple of weeks ago.
I'm still walking around with scabs on my knees from this, so yes, I will not be diving for a long time after that.
As Wales have it back as Bulgaria were pressing. Oh, that's good passing.
And that's
right
first
on the
or second
touchline.
touch. I think that was first. They've got second coming, and they're already in Bulgaria's, final 20 metres. So they should look to set up a couple of strike moves here. They're going to send a sweeper.
Oh, now this space over on the right hand side, and down it goes again. Katie Allen got into lots of space, and it was just a case of playing the right pass, which they did.
Yeah, you can see in the first half they sent a lot of sweepers, so instead of giving the ball to the sweeper, they just picked up short side, and there was the winger that was open, and we got the ball out to the winger. So
9-0, the Welsh lead. It's been a thoroughly professional performance by them.
yeah, they've done everything that they've trained. They've gone 70 metres. They've gone from touchline to touchline every single time that they've had the ball, and they've scored some scores that they'll be proud of. But I think they'll have a few bigger tasks ahead.
Oh, that's a shame. As Bulgaria were looking quite threatening there, to be fair. Oh, and now the burners are on. And all the way from one end to the other, and down it goes. And Wales go to double figures. It's Callum Richards.
I think he just started. It was a new set of 6. He got the ball, ran to the 7, dumped it, got the ball back, and managed to get on the outside. I think he's a little bit younger than a few of the Bulgarian players as well, so that gives him a bit of an advantage.
Here's Bulgaria start again. And fair play to them, they've not let their heads drop. They're still battling away. They're still trying to get something out of the game.
They're doing the same thing each time, so it's something that they've worked on in training. They're going to keep sticking to it, and yeah, they keep doing what they need to do. So I think they'll do this all tournament. I think they'll enjoy it, no matter the outcome of the games. I think they're going to enjoy the experience, and that's what they're here for. It's learning and enjoying that experience.
Wales pressing again.
Sending another sweeper. They give the ball to the sweeper this time, and it's just a simple 3-on-2. Did she make the touch? What a great touch by that winger.
I think the touch was made. Wales still have it though, and there's space again out on the right hand side, and once again it's Katie Allen. Finds herself in a load of space and has the easiest task of putting the ball down, but well gathered in. Good passing by the Welsh, to be fair.
You've just said that, and I think the referee's just giving it as forward. So yeah, the referee's giving that one as forward, which we're not in line, so we can't see. They've obviously got the sideline referees calling that to help the main on-field referee, and yeah, it was called forward. So it looked like a good pass and a good catch, but referees are in a better spot than we are currently.
So that one scratched off. It is still 10-0. Oh, that's a shame. Just not quite taken by Vadiva. It's the Welsh who start again. Again, moving over to the sub box, they've been really efficient with getting their players on and off the Welsh.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. I reckon they've been training for a fair few months now, maybe 6-12 months for this tournament, especially with the cancellation from the last couple of years and moving from the international series last year. They know how to get off, they know how to transition and then get a strike attack. So they are very efficient in what they're doing.
And now it's pop down, and now there is an opportunity for the Welsh again, and this time it is taken. Emilio Grattarola pops the ball over, and Wales do have their 11th.
Yeah, it was just a 32 short. Owen Carroll's running short, and he just pops the ball to the link that gets on the outside and dots the ball down.
Rain has returned again. A few showers were forecast for this morning, but then it's also forecast to be bright sunshine all this afternoon.
And for the rest of the week by the looks of it,
Yes.
so we're in some luck. Wales are going down the side, moving the ball very nicely, taking that touch now, and Wales will look to sweep on and try and punish a Bulgarian defence again.